I am excited to work with Knife. It's Knifewear? Is it Knifeworks or Knifewear? I'm a knife guy. My favorite show is the Knife Show on TV. I just binge watch all the time, so I think it's cool working with a knife company. And you brought the honey, so what else can I say?
Every year at Knifewear, we sponsor beehives in Calgary through ABC Bees. At the end of each summer, they give us a 100-pound bucket of honey, and every year, we brew a honey beer with that local brewery. This is the story of those bees, that beer, mental health, and the importance of local community.
What do you mean? I don't look great with my face all blurred out? My name is Elise Watson, and I own and operate ABC Bees here in Calgary, Alberta. We do programming all over North America, but today we're at Heritage Park inspecting the Knifewear and Kent of Inglewood beehives. Yeah, so we've been keeping bees at Heritage Park for I think about 9 years. I can't remember now. It's been a long time and COVID made things weird. So we've been keeping bees at Heritage Park for some time now, and what we have done working with Knifewear and Kent of Inglewood is they've sponsored the beehives here. So it allows for us to offer free programming for the day camp kids and manage the hives for them for their sponsorship fee. And in return, Kent of Inglewood and Knifewear get their honey share from the colony, which is pretty significant. And they've historically used that honey in making delicious alcoholic beverages. But this partnership has been wonderful. We bring out their staff to learn how to beekeep with us and also connecting with nature too. It's important to be really connected with where your food comes from. And so that's what this project at Heritage Park is all about, is not only connecting with the past, but connecting with the future and connecting with the nature and connecting with people coming to Alberta and really resonating with what being Canadian is all about, the good and the bad. And then also for us who live here, figuring out what it means to be stewards of this city, of this place. And the bees have become a part of that story.
Okay.
Let's see how strong you are.
Let's see. Oh, that baby lifting. Whoa, yeah, that is heavy. Like,
Yeah,
and that's all honey or what?
that's 100% honey.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's like, that's dense.
These said 65-pound deadlift, if not more.
Yeah. In fall 2022, after the harvest, we took some honey over to our friends at Two Pillars Brewing so we could collaborate on a brew. Two Pillars was started by two immigrants to Canada who found that food and drink was the best way to build a strong community in their newfound home. Owner Boaz and head brewer Jeff pulled back the curtain on their tiny brewery and let us make a beer with them.
My name is Jeffrey Justison. I am the head brewer at Two Pillars Brewery here in Calgary. We are Canada's smallest nano brewery. We're gonna call it a nano brewery. High school, I was a nerd. I played Dungeons and Dragons before it was cool. Part of that Dungeons and Dragons thing, you go to the pub, you're having that pint of mead, and you're in the action and games, and pint of ale, pint of mead, and we'd never had mead. I've had beer, never had mead. So we made our own, and that's when I was bitten by the beer bug. Do you know what? In the middle of being a stay-at-home dad, I was struggling with depression. I was struggling with depression quite a bit. This might be a difficult topic. I actually had a brush with suicide. I sought help. Best decision of my life. I do not think the same way at all anymore. I live for the moment rather than dwelling on the past. But I'm much stronger for it today, and I'm where I want to be now. And especially if you're a man, talk about it. don't hold it in. People do care. Yeah.
Man, where do we go from there?
I'm sorry, that was heavy.
No.
I love being a stay-at-home dad. I love the time I got to spend with my kids. The time I get to spend with my kids was something I don't think most men get. I knew this was the direction I wanted to go. I wanted to be in brewing, and it happened a lot sooner than I thought it would. Landing in a head brewing job this soon into it is, I don't even believe it myself sometimes. You ever feel like the Baker syndrome? Yeah, I have to reassure myself that, yeah, I do know. I've worked in this business for 10 years now. I've taught people how to brew. I kind of know what I'm talking about nowadays. I think brewing here with the small batches that we do here allows me to experiment a lot more than doing like 10 hectoliter batches like a lot of the other breweries are doing. The barley we use comes from a small town about 30 minutes outside of Calgary. They've been farming the barley for generations on the farm, and in the last 10 years, they started their own malt house. So they're like, we like the origin guys. They do a good product, and we're happy to support them. The better people in this region do, the better everybody does, right? And given that support locally rather than to these big conglomerates is, I think, better.
After our interview, Jeff showed us the whole brewing process from start to finish. We weighed everything carefully, mashed the grain, and caramelized the honey. We wanted something dark and strong that embraced the feeling of autumn and winter, so Jeff opted for a double, a strong Belgian Trappist style that would evoke the spirit of the honey. And let's be honest, Jeff did all the hard work while we watched.
When Boaz told me we were going to do a beer with honey, I was excited because, like, again, my first love of brewing. I love working with honey. I love everything. I like supporting the bees. And then I found out it was also a collaboration with ABC Bees, who I've taken training with. We're going to try to caramelize the honey today to see if we can get some color from that.
While Jeff is doing an amazing job as the new head brewer, founder Boaz is really the driving force behind Two Pillars, so we wanted to sit down with him and hear his philosophy behind running a brewery.
I'm from Hong Kong. Came to Canada in '96, and we always love to invite people over to our home. And my brother was into board games, and I just kind of tagged along. The beer got me there. Of course, everything started out as a hobby or passion. Small batches, like a brewer, I would say like a brewer's heaven. Like you can do different things, you can experiment. Some beer style actually evolve into their own style because someone bring that certain style into a different area. Because that's a great thing to do. When we bring that style of brewing, style of beer into Canada, when we use local ingredient, people, technology, and all that, and all those things combined together, we may actually turn into Canadian style beer.
There's no mistakes, there's only happy accidents. And I think that's a philosophy that goes here.
The final beer turned out at about 7%, so we named it Stumblebee in honor of the bees that made the honey and to celebrate the strength of this brew. Boaz even canned and labeled a few flats for us to take home and give to some friends.
Do you see how crimson that is, man? How red that turned out? It's such a nice beer. The beer is done. The Stumblebee is done. It's beautiful. It's so clear. It's that red. It's got that nice like Belgian phenolics to it. The honey is there. I think it's an excellent beer. Danger beer, right?
Well, it's finally launch day. We invited a bunch of friends and family and coworkers down to Two Pillars Brewing so we can taste the beer, hang out, and of course, support our friends. Let's go inside and taste the beer.
This is our Stumblebee. What is it? So it's a double caramelized honey double Stumblebee by Two Pillars. Cheers. We have almost 50 breweries in Calgary, and not everybody's getting in the limelight. And Two Pillar, making an entire 2 kegs at a time, is probably the smallest brewery in Calgary, in Canada even. And I love the beer they're making. So I just thought, let's do something with them and shine a little bit of light on them. And then we also get to drink outstanding beer, which is great. Here, drink Belgian beers. They're not too hoppy and they taste delicious.
This beer saved my marriage.
I actually feel like forgiving my dad.
This beer, Stumblebee, so good, it'll put hair on your chest.
Do I look like a shiny drunken mess?